Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo Staten, a professional organizer specializing in chronic clutter. And I am here to help you today tackle the clutter that is holding you back, which is why in today's episode, it's all about what to do when you feel too overwhelmed to even start decluttering. If you've ever stood in the middle of a messy room and thought, I don't even know where to begin, this episode is for you. We're going to break down practical strategies to help you move past the overwhelm and take the first step. So let's get started. Let's start by understanding why decluttering can feel so overwhelming. When you're surrounded by clutter, it can trigger feelings of guilt, frustration, and even shame. You might feel paralyzed by the sheer amount of stuff and the decisions you have to make about each item. Sound familiar? On top of that, life is busy. When you're juggling work, family, and other responsibilities, decluttering often feels like just another thing on an already long to-do list. It's no wonder so many people struggle to start. But here's the good news. There are ways to break through that overwhelm. Before you even pick up a single item, it's important to shift your mindset. And here are a few things to keep in mind. Number one, you do not, I repeat again, you do not have to do it all at once. Decluttering isn't a one-day project. It is a process and it's ongoing. Give yourself permission to take it one step at a time. You want to also focus on progress, not perfection. The goal isn't to have a Pinterest perfect home overnight. It's about creating a space that feels good to you and caters to you, your family, and your lifestyle. And number three, you want to celebrate your wins, right? This is one of the best forms of positive reinforcement. Every small step you take is a victory. Clearing off a single countertop or organizing one drawer is progress. Celebrate that. So let's talk about some practical strategies to help you get started, and feel free to choose one that feels the least stressful for you to tackle. The first one is super easy, right? This is like the lowest stress that you can possibly get, and it is to start with one random item a day. One random item a day might not seem like much, but that's 365 items a year. And chances are you will begin to declutter much more than that. This is just a great low-stress way to get started. Another great low-stress way to declutter your home, or rather start, right, and get over those feelings of overwhelm, is the 2-minute rule. Pick something that you can do in 2 minutes or less. This might mean throwing out a few expired food items from your fridge or pantry, or tossing a stack of old papers from your child's school. So this would be something super easy, super simple, that does not require a lot of decision making. Next, you want to set a timer. Commit to decluttering for just 10 to 15 minutes. And then when the timer goes off, you can stop. But often what I find with most of the women in my community and our wonderful clients is that you're going to be tempted to go past the clock. Another way to get started is to focus on one small area at a time. This is what I call bite-sized decluttering. So you want to pick a specific manageable area to start with, like a single drawer, a shelf, or one small section of your closet. So maybe like 5 items. Narrow your focus. This will make the task feel less overwhelming. So instead of looking at your entire kitchen and going, OMG, heck no, look at a drawer. Or a handful of items. So these are some of the low stress ways. A lot of times we think decluttering is stressful. It is stressful when we take in the big picture. But if we narrow our focus to things that are small, whether it's one item or 2 minutes or 10 minutes, it begins to be less stressful. And again, decluttering is a mental muscle and a new habit that you build over time. So naturally, while it's going to be hard at first, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So sometimes we don't want to declutter because there are some emotional barriers, right? The overwhelm comes from emotional attachment to your stuff. And here are a few strategies of how you can work through those feelings. First and foremost, never, ever, ever start with the sentimental stuff first. If letting go feels hard, begin with things that don't carry much emotional weight, like expired pantry items or old magazines. When you're also decluttering, you want to ask yourself the right questions, or rather, ask yourself one right question. When deciding whether to keep something, ask yourself, can I live without it? What I oftentimes see is like, Do I need it? Do I love it? Do I want it? And okay, those are fine if you've built the muscle and you don't struggle letting go. But if you do struggle letting go, a great question is, can I live without it? Right? Because the truth is, and I've been doing this for a very, very long time, 90% of what's in our home we can technically live without. So again, this might make your decision of parting with an item easier. Also, when it comes to sentimental items, I know that those are hard to let go of. I am not here to dictate what to keep, what to toss when it comes to sentimental items. I'm here to just tell you never, ever, ever start with the sentimental items first. However, if you have ventured and are up to your sentimental items, what really works beautifully is taking photos of the items. If you're holding on to something for the memories, take a picture of it. This way you can keep the memory without keeping the item. Once you take the first step, you will notice that something amazing will happen. The act of starting creates what we call momentum. You'll begin to feel a sense of accomplishment, and that will motivate you to keep going. Remember, it doesn't matter how small the step is, even if it's one item. What matters is that you take it. So what I would love for everyone listening is that if you're in your home or in your car or in your office, right now, as you're listening to this podcast, just choose one item to get rid of and connect with me on Instagram at Be Good to Yourself by Margo and let me know what that item was. Feeling overwhelmed is normal, but it doesn't have to stop you from creating the space you deserve. By shifting your mindset, starting small, and using the strategies we talked about today, you can break through the overwhelm and start your decluttering journey. If you're ready to take the next step, you can download my free Ultimate Mom's Decluttering Guide. It walks you through easy items to get rid of in each room of your home. It is completely free, and I will leave a link to it in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. As always, good luck on your decluttering journey, and remember to be good to yourself.